say a few words about Mom and her life. I think most of the people I see here have known her for a long, long time. And I'm going to go off script just for a minute because something occurred to me, and her four granddaughters sitting down in the front row, that anybody that knew Mom, especially in the last 10 years, knew that aside from her family, her faith, her friends, one thing that Mom really loved was bright colors. And so on their own, they took it upon themselves to assemble the collection of Grandma's favorite bright colors. So this girl, you can stand up just for a minute. Grandma would have appreciated that. So back to the script, which I thought I had printed it in a big enough font to do without my glasses, but I was wrong. On behalf of our family, I want to thank you all for being here today to celebrate Mom, Adele Muzzio's life. She was a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, a man, a friend for so many of us, and a source of love, comfort, and encouragement for everybody that knew her. On the other hand, to some of us, she was simply Mom and Grandma. It's difficult to capture in words the way she touched each life in this room. As we knew her, everybody knew her a little differently. But I think we would all agree on a few things. She was kind, she was strong, she genuinely cared about people. She had a remarkable gift for making everyone feel welcome and loved. First and foremost, Mom was a devoted wife to her dedicated, caring mother to Kathy, Joe, and myself, and an amazing grandmother, something I'm sure that Nick, Matt, Alyssa, Amanda, Sarah, and Lindsay would attest to. Family was always the center of her life. The photo we see here of Mom was taken at the tender young age of 54. My, how time flies, huh? And it captures her essence perfectly. A warm, bright smile, a twinkle in her eyes. We can all connect. It was there when she greeted you at the door, or not, depending on the situation, when we were teenagers. When she laughed with friends around the kitchen table, when she was spending time with her grandchildren, when she was helping someone who needed a little encouragement. Mom passed away on April 19th, 2026, one day before her 93rd birthday. And while we miss her deeply, today is also a day to celebrate a life that was full, meaningful, and rich with love, friendship, and family. So, in just a moment, I want to give you kind of a glimpse of what Mom's life was all about from beginning to end. But before we can begin the story, I'm going to jump right to the end, as this tells kind of the story of Gina and Adele, the story that meant everything to her. In 2019, the day before Dad passed away, Mom, Kathy, Joe, and I stood by Dad, holding his hands. We said our goodbyes for the night, not knowing it was a final goodbye. And as we walked out of the room, Mom stopped, clutched Dad's hand, and said, "I'll see you in heaven." Dad passed later that evening. Mom knew. Before Mom passed, we reminded her of this moment, hoping it would bring her some peace. Shortly after this, they were together again in heaven. So today, when we're thinking of Mom, don't think about the goodbyes, think about that reunion, because that's something that she would want us all to be focusing on. So now that we've given away the end of the story, I'm going to do a quick recap of Mom's life, much of which was in the obituary that we printed. Noting that the recollections of her early life that I point to in here came to some letters that she wrote to her grandchildren over the last 30 years as contributions to various school projects. So Adele Brouette was born in Grand Forks, North Dakota, April 20th, 1933, the third of 5 children and the only daughter of Art and Blanche Brouette. She was told she had a home birth, but her mom was still a lingering question never answered. Was I born on the kitchen floor, or did my mom make it to a bed? As she grew, the depression was in full swing, and her family suffered, as did many, lack of funds and food. But in a tribute to her parents, she wrote, quote, "My parents made life bearable by their always calm and loving nature. There was no fighting, ever, in our home, no matter where we lived, and we moved frequently." Mom told us stories of her youth over the years, but I think the one heaven as they had left the outhouse and the rope behind them. Over the years, Mom discussed many memorable experiences growing up in Richmond. The one that stuck with us as kids, and again, kids remember the darndest things, as they say, was that she actually got to spend weekends on Alcatraz Island when it was an operating prison with her friend whose dad was a prison guard. So how cool is that? Mom was a gifted student, graduated from high school with honors, and got a full scholarship to St. Joseph College of Nursing in San Francisco. She went on to build a long and meaningful career in nursing, caring for others with compassion and skill until she retired in 1988. Looking back, again, we realize it was unusual to have a working mom in the 60s, but to us, it seemed normal. And due to Mom's flexible hospital hours, somebody was always home to make us a family dinner. And as an aside, an added bonus, when she worked Saturdays, we could meet her in the hospital shop at 4, attend a full mass, which would be done by 4:30, because they move pretty quick in the hospital. Which meant we got to hang around in our PJs Sunday morning watching cartoons because we didn't have to go to church again. Sorry. All those perks aside, from our perspective, the biggest thing that came out of Mom's nursing experience was when her college roommate married our dad's cousin. It was at that wedding that, in her words, he asked me to dance and it was love at first sight. From then on, they were inseparable for the next 65 years until Dad passed in 2019. So on April 16, 1955, the Gene and Adele Muzzio family began as they were married at a mass in Reno, Nevada, and grew with the birth of their 3 children, Kathy, Doug, and Joe. And then, I have to add, because it's so important to our family, in 1973, we expanded by one very special person, Beth, my Brazilian sister, we always refer to each other. Mom always said raising her children was full of adventures, trying to help them develop as many abilities and talents as possible, to learn the importance of loving life and giving it your all. And I agree, Mom was always there for us, and such an important part of our childhood. Mom was on the PTA throughout her schooling. She was deeply involved in church activities. She was a scout leader, chauffeur, and many, many more things, including in the interest of balanced narrative, even the disciplinarian of the family, which involves many amusing stories best left for later of the dreaded wooden spoon and her unique ability to send us scattering, uttering one single word, Gene! But I digress. I remember personally in grade school, it seemed that Mom had the ability to reach out and befriend most of our teachers. And before you knew it, for better or worse, they were coming to our house for dinner and remained on our Christmas parties for years. Imagine my surprise when my 5th grade teacher showed up for my high school graduation party. I personally hadn't seen her in years, but at that time, 5th grade, she was a very important teacher for me, and unbeknownst to me, Mom had fostered a relationship with her that lasted for years. And actually, the same thing with my 3rd grade teacher, I'm talking to Joe, he had a few surprise visits from teachers to the home also. Regarding her family, again in her own words in a letter to one of her grandkids, she said, "My children and grandchildren continue to give me my happiest memories. I'm having a wonderful life as I have my health, your grandfather, and my special, special family." And again, I think that's the takeaway today. Mom and Dad, or Gene and Adele, as many people in this room knew them, feels like a single